Well, welcome back my fantastic artistic friends. We're going to paint Waterfall Creek on this 16 by 12 inch canvas. What I've done is I've taken a 16 by 12 inch canvas and I've gessoed it in a light charcoaly colour and allowed that to dry completely. Then I've taken some neutrally grey colours, these are oil paints, and just sketched in where I want my tree to be and the waterfall in the background. Put that in, it's not sealed in, it's just a loose guide. Once I've done that, a little bit of light blue sky colour, so a little bit of blue, plenty of white and a touch of red, and that will give us a nice sky colour. And we can work forward now, creating the rocks of the waterfall, the cliffs either side, so some light colours, some dark colours, some shade, some highlights, and we're just working our way forward. The waterfall itself is a little bit of pale blue. I don't want white, I just want a bit of pale blue, and I'm taking a little tiny filbert brush and I'm just carving in the waterfall. I'm liking this little tiny brush because it gives us a little bit of detail, but not too much detail because it's very far away. You won't see much of it, so it's pointless going crazy at it. You just want the indications of where these big, massive crashes and spills of water will be. You can also see on top of the cliffs I've hit a little bit of greeny colour as well, some greens that I've mixed up with yellow ochre, a little bit of French ultramarine as well, and I've varied the colours. I've added some browns and some reds in there as well to give it a variant of different greens. Don't use green straight out of the can, mix your own, it's beautiful. So what you see me do is just set the waterfall back into the painting with a fan brush, just gently and lightly, and now I can work forward on the creek itself. All I'm doing is taking the same sky colours and I'm just pushing them in. I'm using a little tiny filbert brush to get the detail right at the back, you know, niggly bits in between the stones, and then what I'll do is I'll work forward with a larger brush. Because this is wet on wet painting like Bob Ross and Bill Alexander do, it's so easy to do the reflections. We just pull down and we just go across. Now once that's in place, I can start working on some of the foreground material, some of these rocks and some of the foliage that surrounds the tree trunk. The rocks, quite easy to do. All you do is put a highlight colour on, another highlight colour and some shadow colours, and that's it. I love a dagger brush to create the water lines around the stonework, but you could also use a palette knife. Now again, I'm not using pure white paint. I don't want any white on this picture, just pure blue and white mixed, if that makes sense. Now let's work on some of the foliage. Now I've taken a fan brush, this hog hair fan brush, and it's really good for cutting in and creating a little bit of foliage. I've taken some of the greens. Now the greens that I used are a little bit of the same with the background greens, but I've added a little bit more blue and a bit more yellow into that to give it a different flavour to the background green material. Now all I'm doing is touching on with the corner of the fan brush. I've only dabbed a bit of the fan brush into the paint anyway. I've not fully loaded the brush, and what I'm doing there is then it will work as like a blender and a mixer all in one. So around the branches we go. It could be any branch, you know, this little bit that's just sticking out here on the edge of the canvas, because we're obviously going to put the branch work in and the twigs and the sticks and the limbs when we come round to it. Now we're going to do the tree trunk, which is pretty easy. Now again, just like any of the paints that we're using, we mix our own colours, don't use them straight out of the can, because that'll make it unique to you. So a little bit of burnt sienna, a little bit of Van Dyke brown, a bit of even raw sienna thrown into this. I want a nice warm colour. I want this tree to be like an olive tree or some kind of pine tree that's lived a really rough life, but it got a beautiful view. Now I'm just scrubbing in this tree colour, this brown colour with a filbert brush. And like I always do, I highlight the highlight side with a little bit more paler colour. Now I've taken a touch of white to pale it off, but I've also put a little bit of yellow in there as well, a little yellow ochre that changes the flavour of the paint and gives it another unique twist. I'm working on the roots as well. I want the root, you know, the root ball or the roots of this big tree to really grip onto those stones, so they've lived an hard life. And also on the shadow side, we take a little bit of Van Dyke brown and blue mix, so it's almost like black, but don't use black. You don't need to use black just yet. Can use black later on, but not yet. So it's blue and it's Van Dyke brown, and we're gonna just shadow off the tree. We'll give it that 3D effect, so a highlight side, a mid-tone side, and a shadowy side. So treat each root as if it is like an individual tree trunk, you know, the highlight side and the shadow side, and always bear in mind which roots are in deep shadow as well. With a soft brush, I'm using a fan brush here, I'm teasing the highlights into the shadows and the shadows into the highlights, and that will blend the tree together, make it look more uniform. And also we can pick out some of the areas we seem to have missed with the foliage. We can work on the deep shadows now and a little bit of reflected light. Now I've taken a little bit of blue colour for the reflected light, and with a trowel palette knife we can really pick out some detail on this tree trunk. I use a little bit of Van Dyke brown, a little bit of burnt sienna, touch of the ochre colours as well, and the palette knife, well, the trowel palette knife will lay flat against the canvas and give a really good texture to the tree trunk. I find these trowel palette knives are a really useful tool in your artist's arsenal to create stuff like this. So if you haven't got one, invest in one. So once we're happy with his tree and his bark and the effects that we've created, we can start working on individual foliage lumps now. A little rounded brush, and I'm pulling out, creating individual little leaves, some dots, some dashes, some dimples, with different kinds of greens. We're going to have leaves that are going to be dark. We're going to have leaves that are going to be highlighted by the sunshine. We just dot them on, dash them on, just put them on wherever you think a leaf will be. And with a liner brush, we can start pulling out some individual little twigs, some sticks, some branches, limbs, whatever you want. Now, I've changed my mind here. I never intentionally wanted to put a couple of waterfalls, but I thought the painting just could do with it. So with a filbert brush and a little bit of pale blue colour, we can cut in a couple of little waterfalls. That will give another dimension to this creek. I never planned for waterfalls in the foreground, but I think it adds to that creek effect. It gives it another dimension. Just keep your water nice and flat as it's spilling over. You don't want it rolling off the canvas now. Now, if you've enjoyed this one, guys, give it a big old thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, leave me a comment, and thank you all my members. And if you've enjoyed it so much, why don't you check out another video of mine? Happy days.